If there is anything that needs to be satirized and remixed, it is Trump talking about massive dumps. And by the way, extra points, if you can sample Trump saying massive dumps and me talking about it in a song, please do it.
Dumps. Big massive dumps. Dumps. Big massive dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps. Dump. Dump. Dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps. Dump. Dump. Dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dump. Big massive dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Sir, you just
Dump.
won.
Dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dump. Big massive dumps.
Donald Trump insisted multiple times that it was massive dumps that led him to lose the election, which is just
on another level, on another level.
Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Sir, you just
Dump.
won.
Dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dump. Big massive dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Sir, you just
Dump.
won.
Dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dump. Big massive dump.
You turn the faucet on in areas where there's tremendous amounts of water, where the water rushes out to sea because you could never handle it. People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to once.
Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Sir, you just
Dump.
won.
Dump. Dump.
Dump. Big massive dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps. Dump. Dump. Dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dumps.
what is going on here? What is going on here? It's just beyond parody. I mean, massive dumps cost him the election. What is going on here? What is going on here? It's just beyond parody. I mean, massive dumps cost him the election. What is going on here? What is
Dumps. Dumps. Dumps.
massive dumps that
Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Toilets 10 times.
Dump. Dump. Dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
multiple times.
Dump. Dump. Dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dumps. Dumps.
Dumps. Dumps.
Massive
Sir,
dumps.
you just
Dump.
won.
Dump. Dumps. Dumps. Dump.
Dump. Big massive dumps.
What
Dumps.
is going
Dumps.
on here?
Dumps.
What
you
is
just
Dump.
won.
Dump. Dumps.
going
Dumps.
on here?
Dump.
Dump. Big massive dumps.
It's all right. Very, very exciting stuff. Welcome, everybody. We are standing by for Joe Biden, who's going to be speaking from the State Department and believed that he will make some very, very important statements. I also am interested in looking at the vote about expelling Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I've been in production hell all day, and I have no idea when that is supposed to take place. Can anyone in chat tell me, is there a vote scheduled on Marjorie Taylor Greene? I would like to stand back and stand by for that vote, but I don't know exactly when it's supposed to be. Green axed from the Education Committee. Oh, it's right now. Okay, hold on a second. Let's take a look then. Marjorie. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, they're voting right now. Okay. On ordering the can somebody catch me up? So I'm guessing that a yes vote removes her from committees and a no vote doesn't. And with 217 voting yay, does that get us where we need to be? I should be watching some other stream that would inform me about this. That's correct. Okay. Yeah, no, maybe so. I mean, I'm trying to get caught up here. Simple majority removes. Right now they're voting on the rules of the debate. Oh, is that true? This isn't even the vote. This is just a vote about how they will debate doing it. Or she's removed. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out what's going on as much as some other people in the chat are. Maybe we will get some more information about that. Let's see if PBS has some more information. They don't. They've got the same thing. Removed from committees. Yeah. Okay. This is just on the rules. Removal from her committees, or people are disagreeing. There's people saying this is a vote on removal from the committees, and there's people saying this is a vote on the rules to debate removal from the committee. Motion to advance to resolution. Okay. This is a vote for voting. We are now voting to determine how voting will take place and when voting will take place. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna follow this, and we'll see what's going on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just getting out of production for the day. I definitely am hearing the sound of victory, but I don't know exactly where it's coming from right now. Okay. Voting in favor of debating the vote to vote. That's exactly right. That's exactly what's going on. This is, okay, a Kinky Turtle just sent a perfect $10 super chat. Kinky says, this is a vote to vote on a vote, to vote on whether or not they should vote to remove her. That's exactly right. Needless to say, this vote, whatever this vote is passing, okay? Casey says Biden already spoke at the State Department. Yeah, no, but he's scheduled to deliver remarks momentarily. The White House has just gone live with it, and we've got a number of different streams standing by. So we are waiting on that as well, and we will be covering it very, very strongly. Okay, I have so many things to go over with you guys that I don't even know where to start. I'm going to save some of the better ones for when more people enter the stream. I have to be very careful in what I say. Oh, hold on a second.
The previous question is ordered. The question is on the adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chairs, the ayes have it.
Speaker,
Gentleman from Oklahoma.
on that I would request the yeas and the nays.
Pursuant to Section 3S of House Resolution 8, the yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device.
Okay, so now do we know now what they're voting on? Hold on. Wow, we already have to ban somebody. Jeez. I just dropped a ban hammer on someone who said something about me being a piece of shit Zionist, I think. That's an insta ban. That's just, I mean, that's in the trash. Gone. Absolutely gone. And our friend Nug Wrangler is celebrating the ban. That's amazing. Nug Wrangler could not have celebrated the ban more quickly. That was insane. As quick, I don't know what's more impressive, how quickly I banned them or how quickly Nug Wrangler was cheering the ban. Okay, thanks to Jack Smith, who is new member number 1 at joinpacman.com. And I also want to thank 2 really great people on Twitch, Willie B and Bell Hair Designs, who just re-upped memberships. Let's see now what's happening.
Designated by Ms. Lawrence of Michigan, pursuant to HRES 8. I inform the House that Ms. Lawrence will vote yes on HRES.
Okay, these are proxy votes. All right, so at some point we're going to figure out what they're voting on. I'm not sure if this is a vote on voting or a vote as to whether a vote on voting will be taking place, or if this is merely a vote as to whether voting on votes should be determined by voting, or if these infinite regressions are not serving anybody particularly well. So I don't know. We're continuing to follow it. Previous vote was to move the resolution to the floor. This is the vote on the resolution. Okay. If that's true, that is very, very clear. Very, very clear. All right. Where was I anyway? I was on something. What was I? Oh, yeah. I have been invited to participate in a very special congratulatory video for a content creator who is very close to reaching a very important milestone. I believe that to some degree it's a surprise So I don't want to say more, but let's just say that very soon my face, or maybe just my voice, but I think they're using my face as well, is going to appear in a very interesting milestone congratulatory video for someone. Okay. So that's an important announcement. Number two, I did post. Oh, yeah. People found this funny. I posted this video to my Instagram yesterday. I don't know why I find this so funny. A guy got a Kim Jong-un haircut, and it's so damn funny. Look at this. I don't know why I find this so funny. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so if people want to break from the more serious stuff, it's incredibly he's a dead ringer. That's on my Instagram account. Okay. So we are monitoring and standing by for Joe Biden. We are watching a vote on expelling Marjorie Taylor Greene from committees, and a lot of different things are going on. Okay. I also have for you guys. The day before yesterday during the stream, I had an idea for a song parody, and it was to do a song with the tune of Jolene, and replace Jolene with me saying vaccine and talking about my experience with vaccination. And I got not exactly that, but Robert Monroe said, hey, my band covers Jolene. So I put together vaccine based on your vaccine side effects. And let's just take a listen to that. This is a submission from Robert Monroe.
Vaccine, 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 vaccine. No pain as you are stuck into my arm.
Right.
Vaccine, 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 vaccine. I hope that you won't do me any harm. The pain began 2 hours late. Worried what medicine I could take. The doc said Tylenol's okay with the vaccine. Shortness of breath I do detect. It's possible that these strong side effects mean I got COVID before I got the vaccine. No matter how it made me feel, in 4 weeks I'll roll my shirt up for real and take the second dose of the vaccine. Vaccine, 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 vaccine. Side effects are not cause for alarm. Vaccine, 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 vaccine. Soon everyone will be free from harm.
Beautifully done by Robert Monroe. Very, very nice. So I like that. I appreciate Robert doing that. Very nicely done. And we will have much more news on from the standpoint of vaccines coming very, very soon. I do want to say thanks to Brian Steffler, who just signed up at joinpacman.com, my website. I would love it if you signed up at joinpacman.com, and I will thank you profusely if you do. We are standing by for Joe, but there's no link to that. Robert just sent that to me. Maybe we'll make that available at some point in some way. Okay. We are continuing to count votes via proxy on something related to Marjorie Taylor Greene. I had a couple different clips for you guys. Here's Lindsey Graham. This is Loony Lindsey. Oh, and I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me do a few super chats. We do have some non-Trump supporting rural people in the Missouri Ozarks. Absolutely. HRES 91 providing for consideration of the resolution HRES 72 removing a certain member from certain standing committees. Okay. Previous vote was to move the resolution to the floor. This is the vote on the resolution. All right. So presumably this is actually the vote on removing Marjorie Taylor Greene from committees, and we have 8 minutes left on that vote. Okay, here's something funny. Here's Lindsey Graham saying, there might be missing context about Jewish space lasers that would make the comment much less crazy. Listen to Lindsay.
You have spent some time with her. Where do you come down on this idea of whether she should be stripped of committee assignments?
Well, rather than me talking about what she may have said, I want to hear from her. So I flew down to Georgia with her on Air Force One, had a very pleasant experience with her. Very cordial, very pleasant.
But my favorite part of this is Lindsey Graham saying the word lasers instead of lasers. I love that. Here we go.
What I think she owes herself, quite frankly, her constituents in the country. Is that true? Was she misquoted? Was she taken out of context? I want to know, does she still believe that Sandy Hooks was fake?
Sandy Hooks.
That 9/11 was an inside job, that there's a Jewish laser in the sky starting fires in California. I don't know. I know how words can be twisted. I know how you can.
It could have been she could have meant something different by a Jewish space laser. She might have been saying something about campaign finance reform, and it was just misinterpreted as a Jewish laser.
Be taken out of context. But rather than me talking about her, I would like her to be definitive. Did you believe that then? Mm-hmm. If you've changed your mind, why? Right. What do you believe now? Then I will comment, but I'm going to give her a chance to come out and say definitively what she believes about all these events.
It's fun. The idea of a Jewish space laser counting as an event is also very funny. I don't even know what that means. But anyway, that's Lindsay coming up with some way to not attack or not condemn the things said by Marjorie Taylor Greene in the past. What do you think about trying to get Matt Gaetz to follow through with his offer to resign and represent Trump in an impeachment hearing? I think he should be encouraged to do so. No doubt about it. Do you think any Republicans will vote to suspend Marjorie Taylor Greene from her committees? Do they know what shame is? I don't know. I'm guessing none of them yet have voted to suspend, right? Let's listen. Are these still proxies that are coming in?
By Mr. Bowman, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Bowman will vote yes on HRES 91.
Okay. So far, every Republican voting no. And every Democrat voting yes. This is on expelling Marjorie Taylor Greene from her various committees, and we are still monitoring for Joe Biden, who is scheduled to speak in about 8 minutes from the State Department. We will continue to monitor that. Okay, what else did I have for you guys? Big thanks to Don Juan Kumquat for subscribing via Twitch Prime, as well as Brazen3. And that is very much appreciated. That puts us at 6 today. Do I have any Troy York voicemails? Let me see. Troy York voicemails. Oh, here's one. This one was left at 3:22 a.m. Let's listen.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, why are you mentioning Trump and the slush fund he raised for the Georgia Democrats? Why are you still talking about Trump when he lost? And I think you're desperate to get some anti-Trump remarks. I think you're going to keep talking about Trump. You're obsessed with him. You suffer from Trump deranged syndrome. And what he did is nothing wrong. Then
Trump raised $76 million, claimed it was for fighting voter fraud, and he kept it.
Nothing different than other charities that do the exact same thing.
Well, but it's not a charity. It's Trump saying he was going to win the election. That's not a charity fundraiser.
Raising money, and you're a hypocrite. There are many charities and left-wing politicians that run and then they drop out. They keep the slush fund, and you're an absolute propagandist. You
propagandists. That's my nickname, actually. Propagandist. Okay. All right. So there's that. Let's look at, this is very interesting. I guess Trump just resigned from SAG-AFTRA, and I guess the letter is hilarious. Let's see. I write to you today regarding the so-called disciplinary committee hearing aimed at revoking my union membership. Who cares? While I'm not familiar with your work, I'm very proud of my work on movies such as Home Alone 2, Zoolander, and Wall Street. Money never sleeps. and television shows, including The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Saturday Night Live, and of course, one of the most successful shows in television history, The Apprentice, just to name a few. I've also greatly helped the cable news television business, said to be a dying platform with not much time left until I got involved in politics, and created thousands of jobs at networks such as MSDNC and fake news CNN, among others. Which brings me to your blatant attempt at free media attention to distract from your dismal record as a union. Your organization has done little for its members and nothing for me. It's all about what have they done for Trump, besides collecting dues and promoting dangerous un-American policies and ideas. As evident by your massive unemployment rates and lawsuits from celebrated actors who even recorded a video asking, why isn't the union fighting for me? This has to be satire. These, however, are policy failures. Your disciplinary failures are even more egregious. I no longer wish to be associated with your union. As such, this letter is to inform you of my immediate resignation from SAG-AFTRA. You have done nothing for me. That's just amazing. I love that. Okay, so Trump resigning from SAG-AFTRA. Very, very important news. And wow. That is really something else. David, the coupon code isn't working. Oh, no. Are we really doing this again? The coupon code is working. All right, let me just show everybody. Okay. You go to joinpacman.com. All right. Joinpacman.com. You pick a membership, monthly or yearly. Here's how you switch between the two. Let's say I want to go yearly and I want to do $120 a year. Okay. Sign up. All right. Coupon code. Let's see. Coupon code. Better21. Perfect. Better21. Goes from $120 a year to $42.22 a year. Coupon working perfectly. Coupon working perfectly. Couldn't be working any better. All right, guys. So if it's not working, I hate to use this phrase because it's sometimes considered rude. It is user error. It's user error. All right. Yes, the coupon codes are legal. Yes. They're legal. No, but in all seriousness, I would love it if people signed up. We had a tough January from the standpoint of memberships. A lot of people canceling. In fact, I got a bunch of emails, stuff like this. I get stuff like this all the time, and it makes me sad. I mean, it's very much pandemic related. Why is it taking so long to load? Here it is. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Pacman. I am sorry. Good evening, Mr. Pacman. So formal. It's unfortunate, but I have ended my membership because I have been unemployed since March. And my family and I are unsure when we'll feel it's safe for me to be in a real-life workplace again. I will remain subscribed to the show's YouTube channel. Heard from Rachel. My name is Rachel. And I would like to cancel my membership. Speaking of canceling memberships, Trump from SAG-AFTRA, I would like to cancel my membership. I'm having financial difficulties and can't spare the expense of a long-term subscription. Thank you for understanding, and I'm sorry about canceling my membership. Don't apologize to me. We are in a horrible, horrible, horrible situation right now because of the virus, and much struggle, and I understand. Yeah. No need to be apologetic. It's your money. That's exactly. Whoa.
Today I get to say something that brings me tremendous happiness. President Biden, Vice President Harris, welcome to the State Department. For more than 2 decades, I've had the privilege of watching President Biden at work. I've seen his commitment to the American people, his expertise in foreign policy, his steadfast belief in diplomacy, and his rock-solid support for our diplomats and development experts. I've seen him on the Hill, in the Oval Office, in distant world capitals from Baghdad to Bagram, Paris to Peoria, and visiting our troops, visiting our diplomats, visiting all the men and women representing this country. And I can say without fear of contradiction that in the history of the presidency, no one has brought as much foreign policy experience to the job as Joe Biden.
Wow.
Wherever he goes, he's been a champion for American leadership and a defender of American values. And in Kamala Harris, he has a vice president, we have a vice president, with a long track record of standing up for the security of the American people, and an abiding commitment to using diplomacy to advance our interests and defend our values around the world. At this moment of unprecedented global challenge, it's more important than ever that the United States show up and lead, because the world simply doesn't organize itself to solve big problems, and the well-being of the American people hangs in the balance. We need diplomacy to get the pandemic under control worldwide, to save American lives and livelihoods. We need diplomacy to address the climate crisis, to protect communities across our country. We need diplomacy to check the rise of authoritarianism, to prevent the spread of dangerous weapons, to shore up democracy, to defend human rights, all of which makes the world more stable and free, and all of which protects the security and prosperity of the American people. Foreign policy is domestic policy. And because our strength at home determines our strength in the world, domestic policy is foreign policy too. President Biden and Vice President Harris know this better than anyone. That's why they believe so strongly in the work that we do at the State Department. And they've made it clear that the first question we must ask ourselves here at State is, how will this benefit our fellow Americans? How will this policy answer their needs? How will this outreach reflect their values? How will this initiative make their lives just a little bit better?
Right.
We're going to hold ourselves to that standard every step of the way. President Biden and Vice President Harris have come here today at the very start of their administration to make sure we know that we have their support. And that means a great deal to all of the men and women of the State Department. We will do our best, Mr. President, Madam Vice President, to make you proud. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce the President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Wow. A little bit of a cleaning there. There we go, a little wipe there. All right.
Mr. Secretary, it's great to be here with you. And I've been looking forward a long time to be able to call you Mr. Secretary. Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be back at the State Department under the eyes of the first American chief diplomat, Benjamin Franklin. And by the way, I want you all to know in the press, I was the Benjamin Franklin Professor of Presidential Politics at Penn. And I thought they did that because I was as old as he was, but I guess not. Anyway, all kidding aside, it's great to be here and stand alongside our most recent senior diplomat, Secretary Tony Blinken. Mr. Secretary, thank you for welcoming us today.
That was a dad joke.
We've worked together for over 20 years. Your diplomatic skills are respected equally by your friends and our competitors around the world. And they know when you speak for me. And so is the message I want the world to hear today. America is back. America is back. Diplomacy is back at the center of our foreign policy. As I said in my inaugural address, we will repair our alliances and engage with the world once again, not to meet yesterday's challenges, but today's and tomorrow's. American leadership must meet this new moment of advancing authoritarianism, including the growing ambitions of China to rival the United States and the determination of Russia to damage and disrupt our democracy. We must meet the new moment accelerating global challenges, from the pandemic to the climate crisis to nuclear proliferation, challenging the will only to be solved by nations working together and in common. We can't do it alone. We must start with diplomacy, rooted in America's most cherished democratic values, defending freedom, championing opportunity, upholding universal rights, respecting the rule of law, and treating every person with dignity. That's the grounding wire of our global policy, our global power. That's our inexhaustible source of strength. That's America's abiding advantage. Though many of these values have come under intense pressure in recent years, even pushed to the brink in the last few weeks, the American people are going to emerge from this moment stronger, more determined, and better equipped to unite the world in fighting to defend democracy, because we have fought for it ourselves. Over the past few days, we've been in close cooperation with our allies and partners to bring together the international community to address the military coup in Burma. I've also been in touch with Leader McConnell to discuss our shared concerns about the situation in Burma, and we are united in our resolve. There can be no doubt, in a democracy, force should never seek to overrule the will of the people or attempt to erase the outcome of a credible election. The Burmese military should relinquish power they have seized, release the advocates and activists and officials they have detained, lift the restrictions on telecommunications, and refrain from violence. As I said earlier this week, we will work with our partners to support restoration of democracy and the rule of law. And
yeah, the subtitles are like 2 minutes delayed. I don't know why.
Over the past 2 weeks, I spoke
now it's
with
better.
the leaders of many of our closest friends: Canada, Mexico, the UK, Germany, France, NATO, Japan, South Korea, Australia, to reforming the habits of cooperation and rebuilding the muscle of democratic alliances that have atrophied over the past few years of neglect and, I would argue, abuse. America and alliances are our greatest asset. And leading with diplomacy means standing shoulder to shoulder with our allies and key partners once again. By leading with diplomacy, we must also mean engaging our adversaries and our competitors diplomatically, where it's in our interest, and advance the security of the American people. That's why yesterday the United States and Russia agreed to extend the New START Treaty for 5 years to preserve the only remaining treaty between our countries safeguarding nuclear stability. At the same time, I made it clear to President Putin, in a manner very different from my predecessor, that the days of the United States rolling over in the face of Russia's aggressive actions, interfering with our elections, cyber attacks, poisoning its citizens, are over. We will not hesitate to raise the cost on Russia and defend our vital interest and our people. And we will be more effective in dealing with Russia when we work in coalition and coordination with other like-minded partners. The politically motivated jailing of Alexei Navalny and the Russian efforts to suppress freedom of expression and peaceful assembly are a matter of deep concern to us and the international community. Mr. Navalny, like all Russian citizens, is entitled to his rights under the Russian Constitution. He's been targeted for exposing corruption. He should be released immediately and without condition. We'll also take on directly the challenges posed by our prosperity, security, and democratic values by our most serious competitor, China. We'll confront China's economic abuses, counter its aggressive, coercive action to push back on China's attack on human rights, intellectual property, and global governance. But we are ready to work with Beijing when it's in America's interest to do so. We will compete from a position of strength by building back better at home, working with our allies and partners, renewing our role in international institutions, and reclaiming our credibility and moral authority, much of which has been lost. That's why we moved quickly to begin restoring American engagement internationally and earn back our leadership position, to catalyze global action on shared challenges. On day one, I signed the paperwork to rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement. We're taking steps led by the example of integrating climate objectives across all of our diplomacy and raising the ambition of our climate targets. That way we can challenge other nations, other major emitters, to up the ante on their own commitments. I'll be hosting a Climate Leaders Summit to address the climate crisis on Earth Day of this year. America must lead in the face of this existential threat. And just as with the pandemic, it requires global cooperation. We've also re-engaged with the World Health Organization. That way we can build better global preparedness to counter COVID-19, as well as detect and prevent future pandemics, because there will be more. We've elevated the status of cyber issues within our government, including appointing the first Deputy National Security Advisor for Cyber and Emerging Technology. We're launching an urgent initiative to improve our capability, readiness, and resilience.
See, I told you the stream was
in
urgent.
Cyberspace. Today, I'm announcing additional steps to course correct our foreign policy and better unite our democratic values with our diplomatic leadership. To begin, Defense Secretary Austin will be leading a global posture review of our forces so that our military footprint is appropriately aligned with our foreign policy and national security priorities. It will be coordinated across all elements of our national security, with Secretary Austin and Secretary Blinken working in close cooperation. And while this review is taking place, we'll be stopping any planned troop withdrawals from Germany. We're also stepping up our diplomacy to end the war in Yemen, a war which has created humanitarian and strategic catastrophe.
This is big.
I've asked my Middle East team to ensure our support for the United Nations-led initiative to impose a ceasefire, open humanitarian challenge, and restore long-dormant peace talks. This morning, Secretary Blinken appointed Tim Lenderking, a career foreign policy officer, as our special envoy to the Yemen conflict, and I appreciate him doing this. Tim has lifelong experience in the region, and he'll work with the UN envoy and all parties to the conflict to push for a diplomatic resolution. And Tim's diplomacy will be bolstered by USAID working to ensure that humanitarian aid is reaching the Yemeni people who are suffering unendurable devastation. This war has to end. And to underscore our commitment, we are ending all American support for offensive operations in the war in Yemen, including relevant arms sales.
Should have been done a long time ago.
At the same time, Saudi Arabia faces missile attacks, UAV strikes, and other threats from Iranian-supplied forces in multiple countries. We're going to continue to support and help Saudi Arabia defend its sovereignty and its territorial integrity and its people. We also face a crisis of more than 80 million displaced people suffering all around the world. The United States' moral leadership on refugee issues was a point of bipartisan consensus for so many decades when I first got here. We shine the lamp of liberty on oppressed people. We offered safe havens for those fleeing violence or persecution. And our example pushed other nations.
Biden's doing too much, guys.
Their doors as well. So today,
I'm also an idiot.
An executive order to begin the hard work of restoring our refugee admissions program to help meet the unprecedented global need. It's going to take time to rebuild what has been so badly damaged, but that's precisely what we're going to do. This executive order will position us to be able to raise the refugee admissions back up to 125,000 persons for the first full fiscal year of the Biden-Harris administration. And I'm directing the State Department to consult with Congress about making a down payment on that commitment as soon as possible. And to further repair our moral leadership, I'm also issuing a presidential memo to agencies to reinvigorate our leadership on the LGBTQI issues and do it internationally. You know, we'll ensure diplomacy and foreign assistance are working to promote the rights of those individuals, included by combating criminalization and protecting the LGBTQ refugees and asylum seekers. And finally, to successfully reassert our diplomacy and keep Americans safe, prosperous, and free, we must restore the health and morale of our foreign policy institutions. I want the people who work in this building and our embassies and consulates around the world to know I value your expertise and I respect you, and I will have your back. This administration is going to empower you to do your jobs, not target or politicize you. We want a rigorous debate that brings all perspectives and makes room for dissent. That's how we'll get the best possible policy outcomes. So with your help, the United States will again lead, not just by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. That's why my administration has already taken the important step to live our domestic values at home, our democratic values at home. Within hours of taking office, I signed an executive order overturning the hateful, discriminatory Muslim ban, reversed the ban on transgender individuals serving in our military. As part of our commitment to truth, transparency, and accountability, we stated on day one, we started in day one with daily briefings of the press from the White House. We've reinstituted regular briefings here at State and at the Pentagon. We believe a free press isn't an adversary. Rather, it's essential. A free press is essential to the health of a democracy. We've restored our commitment to science and to create policies grounded in facts and evidence. I suspect Ben Franklin would approve. We've taken steps to acknowledge and address systemic racism and the scourge of white supremacy in our own country.
Thought it was scourge.
Racial equity will not just be an issue.
That's a joke, by the way.
For one department in our administration. It has to be the business of the whole of government in all our federal policies and institutions. All this matters to foreign policy because when we host the Summit of Democracies early in my administration, to rally the nations of the world to defend democracy globally, to push back the authoritarianism as advanced, we'll be a much more credible partner because of these efforts to shore up our own foundations. There's no longer a bright line between foreign and domestic policy. Every action we take in our conduct abroad, we must take with American working families in mind. Advancing a foreign policy for the middle class demands urgent focus on our domestic economic renewal. And that's why I immediately put forth the American Rescue Plan to pull us out of this economic crisis. That's why I signed an executive order strengthening our Buy American policies last week. And it's also why I work with Congress to make far-reaching investments in research and development of transformative technologies. These investments will create jobs, maintain America's competitive edge globally, and ensure all Americans share in the dividends. If we invest in ourselves and our people, if we fight to ensure that American businesses are positioned to compete and win on the global stage, if the rules of international trade aren't stacked against us, if our workers and intellectual property are protected, then there's no country on earth, not China or any other country on earth, that can match us. Investing in our diplomacy isn't something we do just because it's the right thing to do for the world. We do it in order to live in peace, security, and prosperity. We do it because it's in our own naked self-interest. When we strengthen our alliances, we amplify our power, as well as our ability to disrupt threats before they can reach our shores. When we invest in economic development of countries, we create new markets for our products and reduce the likelihood of instability, violence, and mass migrations. When we strengthen health systems in far regions of the world, we reduce the risk of future pandemics, that could threaten our people and our economy. When we defend equal rights of people the world over, of women and girls, LGBTQ individuals, indigenous communities, and people with disabilities, the people of every ethnic background and religion, we also ensure that those rights are protected for our own children here in America. America cannot afford to be absent any longer on the world stage. I come today to the State Department, an agency as old and as storied as the nation itself, because diplomacy has always been essential to how America writes its own destiny. For the diplomacy of Ben Franklin helped assure the success of our revolution. The vision of the Marshall Plan helped prevent the world from foundering on the wreckage of war. And the passions of Eleanor Roosevelt declared the audacious idea of universal rights that belong to all. The leadership of diplomats of every stripe doing the daily work of engagement created the very idea of a free and interconnected world. We are a country that does big things. American diplomacy makes it happen, and our administration is ready to take up the mantle and lead once again. Thank you all. May God bless you and protect our troops, our diplomats, and our development experts, and all Americans serving in harm's way.
Okay, Joe Biden at the State Department, forgetting his mask there, I guess, but heading off. There is Vice President Kamala Harris, Secretary of State Antony Blinken behind them, and there it is. So we are standing by. We are so close to knowing whether the House of Representatives will be expelling Marjorie Taylor Greene from her committee assignments in the House of Representatives for such comments as there is a Jewish controlled space laser used to start forest fires. And we are standing by 9 votes remaining. And correct me if I'm wrong, it's 218 that is needed. 4 of the remaining 9 votes would need to go for yay in order to expel Marjorie Taylor Greene. We're standing by with that. Okay, I have so many other things to go over and to talk about with you. First and foremost, we missed 7. Yeah. People are pointing out what happened to 77777. Last stream, we were very close on Twitch to 77,777 followers, and now we're already past it. I know it would have been fun, I guess, for it to happen while we were on stream, but we are now at 77860. So forget about quintuple 7. We're just going for 100,000. Okay. So that's what's happening on Twitch. And what's the most sub? Yeah, this is the most. We've never had more than 25.95 Twitch subs ever. So this right now, you are witnessing history. We've never had more than that. I'm in a documentary film that's just been released, which I'm going to tell you guys about, and then maybe some of you will want to watch it. It's available on YouTube. I'm going to look at the trailer momentarily. I appear in a documentary with Anthony Scaramucci and Dilbert's Scott Adams. Can you imagine? We'll get to that in a moment. I do want to say thanks to a bunch of people who just signed up on my website. Okay. Give me just a moment to thank some people. Caitlin Phillips is a new member at joinpacman.com. Steven Zouwer is a new member. Kathleen Farley has signed up. Paul Elfering is a new member. Want to say thanks to Thomas Ponce and Daniel Frey, as well as Justin Kepper and Toby Phillips. And lastly, Trudy McLaughlin. I appreciate all 9 of you very, very much. Whoa, what's going on here? There we go. Thank you very much. We are 2 yay votes away from Marjorie Taylor Greene being expelled from committees. Let's just keep it here for a moment. I'll just load up this trailer just so we've got it ready. And we're going to go to that in a moment. But we are standing by here Very, 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 very close vote, as you can see. 6 votes left. 2 of them need to go to yes, and Marjorie Taylor Greene will be expelled from her committee assignments in the House of Representatives. Wild times. H.R. 91 is only for the consideration of H.R. 72. Oh, so this isn't the vote? I thought this was the vote. Now people are telling me this is not the vote. Hold on a second. H.R. 91. Are you kidding me? I thought we already had a vote on voting. You have got to be kidding me. Can we clarify? I was under the impression that the previous vote was about voting and that this is now the vote. Are people messing with me? Is that actually what's going on? This is the vote for sure, people are saying. The first vote was whether to vote, and this is the vote. We haven't voted on voting on voting. I know. Voting on voting passed. This is the vote. Wow. Can you imagine if this isn't really the vote? Wow. Next, they'll have to vote to certify this vote, right? I mean, you still have to do that. Yeah, you have to vote to accept the vote. Imagine if 218 vote yes, but then only 216 vote to accept that vote. It would be a real big mess. Okay, all right. So we're standing by. I think Ryan is messing with me. Chalkway Pitchford says, David, it seems your viewership hasn't dipped after Trump. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe we all like you. You know, it's very, very interesting. I was just looking at numbers because for years it's been very popular for people to show up and say that the show is circling the drain is often the term that's used. And I was looking at our view numbers, and I saw that in November we had 54 million views on YouTube, which is just nuts. And then in December, we had 45 million views, which is expected. December typically slows down. But then in January, we also had 44 million views. I expected a dramatic slowdown in January just because a lot of people are going to check out of politics. January was just as big. So who knows? It seems people are staying to some degree. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but it's all exciting that's happening. I can assure you of that. Okay. We are standing by for those final votes. Let's look. Here is me featured in a documentary film by James Fletcher called The Accidental President. I appear right at the beginning of the trailer. It's only a 1.5-minute trailer. Let's look at it.
It was a perfect storm, really.
You saw that, right? That was me.
I think most people did see him as a joke.
Yeah, don't blink. I'm going to have to go back. This is just the trailer. I'm in the film more than half a second, but let's just go back because it's real quick there.
It was a perfect storm, really.
Yeah. I was unsure about that doing the really. At first I thought, I was thinking about like, what's my character's motivation in this? And I was going to say it was a perfect storm and just leave it. But as I workshopped this with my acting coach, I was like, no, I should add something else. So that's why I went with the more. With the really. It was a perfect storm, really. All right, one more time.
It was a perfect storm, really.
From the very beginning, I think most people did see him as a joke.
This is a TV star who knew how to work the medium of television.
He was the first smash-mouth shock jock candidate.
Quiet. A lot of Americans like that stuff.
He had a resonance that transcended logic. It was emotional.
He just said whatever came to his mind.
Crude, hypocritical, dishonest.
That's already baked into your understanding of who he is.
Trump can survive the unsurvivable.
And we'll raise you 4 or 5 Clinton accusers.
As long as we keep responding as an audience, that's how they're gonna try to win elections.
Has our political framework changed?
You can't go back now.
The public has changed. Politics has changed.
How does Donald Trump win? How does he not win?
Right. So it's available right now on YouTube. If people are interested, you can check it out. It is it's a great film actually, and James Fletcher, the producer director, was really great. Now you might have just to go back one more time because you might have missed my presence in the trailer. Here it is, just once more.
It was a perfect storm, really.
All right, so there it is. Check it out though. It's very, very good stuff, and people may like it. All right, very, very good. Okay. We are still standing by for these last 6 votes, I guess, on expelling Marjorie Taylor Greene from committees. And, okay, here we go. David, HR 91 is shown here. All right. Legiscan. Let's see here. What is HRES 91? All right. Sets forth the rules for consideration of HRES 72, removing a certain member for certain standing committees of the House of Representatives. Wow. So this actually might only be the vote on voting. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Let's see. So HR 70, I think it's actually true. This isn't the vote. Okay. HRES 72. This resolution removes Marjorie Taylor Greene from the House. They're really just voting on the rules. Oh my God. I can't believe. So this is not the vote to expel. This is the vote to approve the rules on how to debate whether to expel. But yeah, so what was the vote? What was the vote before? That doesn't make any sense. Was the vote before about whether they were going to be voting on how they should debate whether to vote? Is that actually seems to be what it was? I'm shocked that it's Kafkaesque. Yeah. The vote on the vote on the vote. It's pronounced Chokwe. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. Chokwe Pitchford. Thank you. Voting on starting the vote on whether you should debate it one way or the other seems absolutely insane to me. It really does. I'm actually aghast that that's what's going on. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, it seems soon they will be deciding whether they can start debating whether to remove Marjorie Taylor Greene from the committees. All right. Very good. Okay. Let's just go through the other things I had for you guys. Okay. A big thank you to M. Santali for gifting a Twitch sub, as well as Buif and Ravlin. That is we've got an additional 8 folks who just subbed on Twitch, and I really appreciate that. Okay, before I move on to some other things, let me just real quick go through some of these super chats. The movie opens with David doing a Blue Chew commercial. Yeah, I should have said it was a perfect storm, really. Sponsored by Blue Chew, FDA approved. As the White House turns, keeps us on our toes and listening. David, in the coming months, are you planning on doing segments on news from other countries, like farm law protests in India? You know, those segments do terribly, like disastrously. We almost, because our audience is so heavily U.S. based. So I'm not sure about that. Smartmatic has sued Fox and Giuliani. Do you find Trumpism akin to Nazism, not in the literal, but in the sense of its nationalism, conspiratorial thinking, racism, and ultra-capitalism? There are certainly overlaps. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly, but you know, we don't want to say Trumpism is Nazism. We want to be real careful. From the standpoint of storms, it was perfect, really. Yeah, I agree. Okay, let me get to a few other things. Case numbers. Case numbers are coming down really fast from the perspective of negative, okay? Case numbers are down an average of 42% from the peak, and the peak was only 3 weeks ago. Let's keep it going. Let's keep this going. Unfortunately, deaths so far are not yet coming down. They have leveled out, and my expectation would be that deaths will start coming down. As far as vaccinations are concerned, the U.S., the world has now given out 108 million shots. Of that, 35 million have been given out in the United States. We are up to 1.34 million doses per day in the United States, and that's a very, very good thing. Okay, what else did I have? Oh, this was a weird thing that happened on Newsmax. Just the low production value of Newsmax I continue to find funny. Check this out.
Minority Leader McCarthy was there, Chairman Brady, that's several of us. And to hear the heart-wrenching stories of these pipeline companies that have to tell thousands of their employees they're now laid off because of executive orders by this new president. It is unbelievable what we're seeing. And the quote by Bernie Sanders.
Oh, man. I love that. There's another really funny one, which was the Trump audio problems. There's some really funny. These had me cracking up not that long ago. Let me see if they come up here.
Those are the heroes that the left and the Democrats and the anarchists.
Okay, no, that's Judge Janine having a problem. Where was this? These are some of the funniest videos. Give me a second. It's worth looking for this because these are so funny. I know I covered them. Let me see here. Trump rally audio engineer. Let me see if I can find this. No, that's not coming. Trump audio problem. I think I might have this. Trump. No, there it is. It must have been before. Yeah, it must have been before the election. So let me see here. These are just so funny. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This is my favorite. I was laughing hysterically watching this by myself when this all happened. Check this out.
The Biden.
I don't know why I find that so funny. I think it's Trump's frustration with it.
Both of your states. The Biden. These guys, yeah, that's right. You can't. Maybe, no, it's probably a rhino is operating.
Isn't that the best? And then there's one more of these. Hold on. There was one more. Hold on. It was this exact same event. Let me find the other one. Okay, here's more. Oh, here, I have the link. Here's another audio problem where Trump attacks the audio engineer.
And our incredible, these people don't know what the hell they're doing.
Oh, that's just the best. These people don't know what the hell they're doing. I think it's funnier because of how derailed he gets. Let's listen to it once more.
And our incredible, these people don't know what the hell they're doing. Let me recover my ears for 1 second.
Oh, man. This I'm going to miss. This is good old-fashioned fun.
Whoever did this microphone, don't pay him.
Well, now see, the funny thing is, that's not a joke. Trump doesn't pay his lawyers. That's for real. There's no joke about that part.
You know, I have a reputation for not paying, and it's a false reputation. When somebody does a lousy job, like a microphone that's no good, or like teleprompters that fly with the wind.
This guy, it's unbelievable.
I say, don't pay him. But we love our incredible Hispanic American.
Right. The audio engineers are bad. Hispanics we love. Let me just see one more here.
And our incredible, these people don't know what the hell they're doing.
That's gold. I mean, you can't write stuff that's that he is such a terrible person. Exactly. That's the real takeaway with all of that. All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for indulging me in being able to find that. And also thanks to JC for signing up at joinpacman.com. Very much appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. A couple of other things. Let's see what else I had for you. Oh. I have some Lauren Boebert clips. She gave what I think by some very narrow technical definition might count as an interview to Fox News. And this is someone who has no business, you know, I don't even want to say, like I was going to say, this is someone who has no business teaching preschool or working at a grocery store, but I don't want to insult anybody in those positions. I don't know how this person it balances a checkbook. Okay, take a listen to this.
You have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez accusing Senator Cruz of nearly.
I've never heard that pronunciation, Zinader. Has anyone heard that? I'm not even making fun of an accent. I've just never heard of Zinader.
Senator Cruz of nearly murdering her, or comparing Congressman Chip Roy's actions to a sexual abuser. This is ridiculous, and someone at some time needs to hold them accountable. And maybe it's the freshman class.
Right. And then she also went on to say the following.
And so the DCCC can throw whatever they want at me. It's not going to stick. I'll keep whacking down the moles. And you're exactly right. We can't just keep sacrificing Republicans to the DCCC and to the Democrat Party. They will look after their next head to scalp.
But this isn't about, I mean, I just want to make this very clear to everyone watching now. We have to translate Washington to the rest of the country every night.
No, you need to translate reality for Lauren Boebert to understand it. It's not, no. I love how Laura Ingram's like, oh, you know, Lauren, you're speaking a little bit too higher level for a lot of people. They don't understand this stuff. No, Lauren Boebert doesn't understand a damn thing. And the world needs to be explained to her.
With all due respect, it's not about you. It's not
True.
about Congresswoman Green. It's not about any one of you. This is about trying to take out anyone ever connected to Donald Trump, because they don't want to have to spend that much money again to meet someone like him in 2024. That means take out anyone connected with him. They said it's a third of the Republican Party or a third of the country still supports his ideas. It's about the ideas,
On this vote, the yeas are
Congresswoman.
218 and the nays are 210. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Okay, so now do they start debate?
For what purpose does the gentleman from Texas seek recognition?
Would move to adjourn.
The question is on the motion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The noes have it. The motion is not adopted.
Mr. Speaker, I would ask for the yeas and nays.
Oh, my God.
Pursuant to Section 3S of House Resolution 8, the yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device.
So if I understand correctly, guys, they now Democrat. Oh my God. It's like, what are we doing with our tax money? That's not a joke. Here's what just happened. Okay. First, they voted apparently on whether to vote on the rules for debating whether to expel Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay. Then they voted to accept, the Democrats had the majority. They voted to accept the rules for the debate about whether to expel Marjorie Taylor Greene from committees. When that passed, a Republican stood up and said, let's adjourn. So what's the goal is, fine, Democrats won. We're going to have to debate it, but let's not do it. Let's end for the day. There was an objection. They voted, well, they're not an objection. A lot of people voted no, we don't want to adjourn. Knowing that there's a Democratic majority, the speaker said the noes have it by ear and understanding. And a Republican now says, no. The voice vote isn't enough. I want a vote about whether to adjourn. So my guess now is 218 Democrats will vote, no, we're not adjourning. The next step is to now have the debate, after which there will be a vote about whether to expel Marjorie Taylor Greene from the committees. I don't even know if now this is expected to be happening. Does anyone know, like, will this actually happen today? Yeah, I don't even think the voice. I mean, listen, the voice vote is fine when it's like, 90%. These are stall tactics, of course. I think it's also crazy that you need 15 minutes to vote and then it takes even longer. But I know because of COVID, you've, all this different. This is absolutely nuts. I know that this happens all the time. I know, guys. Listen, I'm doing a show here, okay? The question isn't the process, but why it takes 15 minutes to click the buttons. Yeah, I know. It's unbelievable. Okay, let's just get to that last little bit of Lauren Boebert, though, here. Oh, hell, that wasn't it. Here it is.
That's what they want to brand as racist or white supremacist, even though they were quite popular among various minority groups.
Laura, you are absolutely right.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, so that's that. We got that out of the way. Oh, and here's one more. Here's Kevin McCarthy. This is so funny. Kevin McCarthy used to say there's no place for QAnon in the Republican Party. And then yesterday he said he doesn't even know what it is and called it QAnon. This is so funny. Check this out.
Well, let me be very clear. There is no place for QAnon in the Republican Party. I do not support it. And
Look, Marjorie Taylor, she walked around with the Bible looking for Reps Tlaib and Omar saying that they needed to swear in on the Bible and not the Quran. Like, how are you going to deal with it?
Look, our party is very diverse. You mentioned two people who are going to join our party, and both of them have denounced QAnon. So I think it would be helpful if you could hear exactly what she told all of us, denouncing QAnon. I don't know if I say it right. I don't even know what it is.
Well, it's weird because just a few months ago, he was on Fox News talking about it, and he seemed to know a lot about it. So now he says he doesn't know what QAnon is anymore. Weird, really weird dude. Very, very strange guy. All right, I'm closing out a bunch of different things that we are going through. And I think we've mostly got everything here. Okay. All right, good. And then I do have a Tucker Carlson clip to review, and I will do that momentarily. Oh no, guys, the I'm begging you. The coupon code is working. Okay. The coupon code is working. If maybe you're trying to use it on some other website, we just went through this. Okay. I just tried the coupon code. Okay. I typed in Better21. It dropped the membership from $120 a year to $42.22. The coupon code is working. I promise you. I promise. It really is, guys. It's working. It's working. Okay. The coupon code's fine. There's no issue. There's no issue with the coupon code. Okay. Let me review some. It is illegal. Oh, the coupon code is immoral and illegal. To accept such a serious discount, you should definitely question your ethics, but it's working from a technical standpoint. Okay, the U.S. is a backwater theocracy. Why are you constantly surprised by this malfeasance from your elected representatives? I don't know. That's a fair question. It seems like a kind of a filibuster via redundant vote counting. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's absolutely what they're doing. Let's spend the money to employ pipeline workers for a U.S. pipeline for water from places with plenty or pre-flood to places that need it. Okay. How is Joe Biden's impeachment going? Yeah, it's stalled. Marjorie Taylor Greene drafting articles of impeachment of Joe Biden, and then it didn't go any further. How much of a threat do you think Christian nationalism is to the United States? It's a threat, but it's sort of like how much is a threat is Trump to the U.S.? Well, if the Republican electorate wasn't so bamboozleable that they would have voted for him, Trump as a candidate wouldn't be a threat. Unfortunately, Republicans fell for it. So that makes it a threat. And in that sense, Christian nationalism is a threat. No question about it. Okay. So do we have any idea? Does anybody have a serious answer as to whether the actual vote on expelling Marjorie Taylor Greene from committees will happen today? Do we have any idea about that? Because I was hoping to cover that. And yet I don't know how many votes on voting we're going to have. We don't know. It'll happen tomorrow. Low to zero chance that it happens today. Should we have a vote as to whether we should vote on whether it will happen today? No, it didn't. People think they've already voted on that. They have not. It has not been voted on yet. Okay, it seems like it's at least going to be a little bit, and there may even be a long period of debate. Okay, in that case, this stream was to cover Biden at the State Department, so I'm going to end this stream here, and then I've got a ton of work to do. I will monitor if debate actually starts on expelling her, and it looks like it's going to happen today, I'll reset a new stream, and then I'll see you guys back here. So I'll be monitoring it. I'm glad you joined me today, and I may see you. I mean, probably seems like maybe at some point in a couple of hours. All right. Thanks, everybody.